¿Cómo estamos?
We want to welcome you this morning to the Drainage District Board of Directors meeting, Hidalgo County Drainage District for today, August 25th, 2014. President are Commissioner Cuellar, Precinct 1, Palacios, Precinct 2, Palacios, Precinct 4, and myself. We have a quorum. Is there anyone that signed up under open forum? No.
No, sir.
Okay. Our consent agenda, any concerns?
Judge, we have no concerns.
Move for approval.
Check. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. And item number 4,
Item number 4, we have someone from Purdue, Braden, and to come present.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
morning, sir.
For the record, Iram Gutierrez, partner with Purdue, Brandon Fielder, Collins, and Mott, your delinquent tax attorneys. I'm bringing you some bids on a tax resale that occurred on June of 2014. There are 44 properties that received bids. In addition to that, there are 3 other properties. They're private bids. One of them is a private bid that was submitted by the City of FAR. They are offering the equivalent of the base tax owed to the taxing entities. And the other one is a private bid by the City of Mission. The third property is simply a correction. The law firm had made some errors in calculating costs, so this is being resubmitted. So in total, 44 bids from the auction on June of 2014, and three private bids. We are recommending that the commission authorize a resolution approving the bids.
All 3 private bids are public bodies? Bids?
2 of them are private bodies. 2 of them are private bodies. The other one is simply a correction on a bid that had previously been approved.
So it's not really a private bid, it's a...
Correct, Judge. I made a mistake about that. This is simply a bid that had already been submitted, approved, and now we're resubmitting it because of the cost that had been calculated incorrectly.
Any discussion or any questions? If not, entertain a motion to approve.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Item 5 is the budget process.
Judge, can we skip over to item 6 until the tax office, Eva Mireles arrives?
All right, go ahead.
Okay. For item 6, request approval of budget amendment in Capital Projects Fund 133, 2013 bond series in the amount of $127,800 to increase the budget of the controlled structure from Precinct 4, Edinburgh Stub and West Main Drain Control Structure, in order to continue the completion and approve the construction of the projects.
Move for approval.
Second.
This fund will transfer from the contingencies account.
What's the amount?
$127,800.
Is this in order to complete the project?
The bids came in for construction and are a little bit over, so this will allow us to continue or move forward with the construction.
That's your recommendation.
Yes, sir.
Other question.
You have a motion, and was there a second? Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, this request approval of a budget amendment. It's the same as the item above in the Capital Projects Fund 133, 2013 bond series in the amount of $65,000 to increase the budget of the Alamo Expressway drain for the continuance of the construction contract to Texas Cordia. This fund will be transferred in from contingencies account.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 7, we had previously submitted or placed these payments for construction on the agenda, but we failed to put the issuance of a manual check. These payments are lacking a few items in order for us to issue payment, so I wanted to request that the approval to issue a manual check. As soon as we receive all the documents that are needed from these contractors, that we are allowed to issue the check, since we've moved the agenda to every other week. Allow for a payment to be made sooner to them. Request approval to issue manual check for the following contractors. Payment request for construction projects of the 2013 bond series. One is Texas Cordia, payment number 6, Alamo Expressway drain. I have a corrected amount of $5,914.17. The second one is Texas Cordia, payment number 2 for the Edinburgh drain stub-out control structure, $24,390. The third is FJW Construction, payment number 3, J09 Improvements, Phase 1, $45,000. And the fourth one is for Rojas Construction, payment number 4 and final, Rural Drainage Development, Northside Village, Hidden Valley Estate Subdivisions from Precinct 2. The amount is $91,304.30.
Move for approval?
Second.
Is that subject to?
Subject to.
Yes.
Subject to audit procedures.
All right, those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Approval to issue payment after review and audit procedures are complete for the following items. Application number 4 in the amount of $46,800 to Texas Cordia Construction pertaining to the construction contract number 13030-0104, Edinburgh Wastewater Plant Effluent Line and Crossings.
That's 07, right? The last number, 07.
Yes, sorry.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Application for payment number 2 in the amount of $70,704.70 for GP7 Construction pertaining to the construction contract HCDD1 130210429A. This is FM 495 Drain, Trenton Road Field Crossing.
Move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Want to go back?
Yes. Is Eva here?
Item 5.
Eva's not here from the tax office, but I do have one copy of to go over the tax rates. The submission of the 2014 effective tax rate for the Drainage District for next year's budget. The effective rate is .0948.
Can you put it on the machine? Oh, you can't just lay it out there? So we can see it on the video here.
I don't know if I'm able to.
Oh, no, that's okay. If you can't, you can't. I just want to, you don't have any extra copies, see?
I might have one or two. Let's see.
Do you want me to make some copies?
No, that's okay. I just wanted to clarify something in my mind. Right. Go ahead and explain it.
Okay. The effective rate is, I'll just announce, 0948. This is the rate that will generate the same amount of revenue as last year, given the increase in property values. So last year's rate is .0957. So this effective rate would decrease taxes by, I guess, 1/9 of a penny. Slight.
Well, we would be decreasing the tax rate.
The tax
by
rate.
.09 cents.
Correct. And it would, of course, even though the tax rate would go down, the district would continue with the same amount of revenue as the prior year,
It's for the drainage.
the drainage district.
Right.
Judge, well,
The other rate that is identified here is the rollback rate. The rollback rate is .0972. This rate would generate, it's 0.8% increase from last year's revenue. It would generate $676,645 more revenue than the prior year. If we continue with the same rate as last year, which is .057, that tax rate would generate $253,742 additional more revenues for the district.
And you're saying that if we maintain the effective tax rate, which means the lowering of the tax rate, that we would have enough dollars to operate the drainage district for next year?
If we continue with the same budget as we did this past year, we would be able to continue, yes.
Do you know whether or not that's what's being proposed?
I've had discussions with Godfrey for the M&O section. He has mentioned that he will continue, he's going to try to maintain the same budget as the prior year. And in keeping in that, I'm assuming that, yes, we would have enough to operate. And this would include also funds to purchase the assets from the county that we have been doing per year. It would include the amounts needed for our note payable for that machinery that we purchased earlier.
Thank you.
There have been certain increases that we've had in the administrative for the commissions and costs and for the assessing fees that have gone up since the drainage district has been collecting additional taxes for the payments of bonds and principal. That would be one item to consider. Other than that, the debt service payments of principal and interest are pretty much the same. There's a difference of about $2,000. So our debt, principal and interest for next year will maintain the exact same amount. If we go with the, hey, Eva.
Good morning.
Sorry, Judge.
Well, you timed it well.
Eva Mireles, on behalf of Paul Villarreal, Texas Sister Collector. I don't know if you have a packet of what we would be presenting.
They need one.
Okay, if I get one of these.
Sure.
Judge, Commissioners, in front of you is the effective tax rate calculations for the drainage district, which is required by the Truth and Taxation to publish. In there is, of course, last year's rate, and of course, all the information for this year's tax rate based on the calculation. Behind that is what we're really here today to take a record vote on what the commissioners will propose to adopt. If you look at the benchmark schedule, the effective tax rate came out to .0948. Your rollback rate is .0972, which is the highest that you can go without being petitioned for a rollback election. And of course, last year's rate was at .0957. With that being said, last year's rate will bring you an additional levy of $253,742. And if you propose the rollback rate, will bring you an additional levy of $676,645. So with that being said, as far as on the different options of the proposed rate, if you are to propose anything higher than the effective rate, which is a .0948, will be required to publish and have two public hearings. The first public hearing will be September the 9th, and then we have scheduled the second public hearing September the 23rd, and then, of course, September the 30th to adopt, which is the deadline required by the Truth and Taxation to adopt. So with that being said, I would request that you make a record vote on what you propose as far as the tax rate for publication.
All right, Commissioners?
If I may add, Judge, we always recommend, of course, if you can always propose the rollback. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to adopt the rollback, but that way you can always come back and adopt last year's rate or whatever the commissioners want. But it's always best to go high and then,
It can be lower, but it cannot be raised.
We don't
Right.
need, according to what we've been told, Mr. Garza is going to be proposing a budget that is less than the amount of money that we collected last year. No, it's the same amount, but with a lower tax rate. And we're trying to give the citizens, the taxpayers, the benefit of that lower amount, that lower tax rate amount, which would mean adopting the effective tax rate of .0948 down from .0957 of last year,
okay.
253,742.
If that is what the governing body wishes to propose, then you will not be required to have the two public hearings based on the calendar for September the 9th and September the 23rd. If you were to propose the effective tax rate, then we can just go straight to adoption on the date that,
Please, well, let's assume we adopt the effective tax rate today, which is the
Propose.
lowest tax rate.
okay, today will be,
Can, next week, when Mr. Garza's here, if he says, I'm sorry, we're going to need more money, can we amend it then?
not if you're going to
We'll
propose
set
anything
the-
higher than that.
the
Today is the
highest
deadline.
And then come back and
Final
We will
approval.
go down.
Okay.
If you propose something higher than the effective tax rate next week, you won't be able to have, unless you have special meetings for your two public hearings that are required for you to have.
Well,
If we leave it the same as last year, can we come back and change?
If you propose last year's rate,
Leave it like last year.
We
you
go
can
down.
always adopt,
Can we go down?
yes. If you
we can
propose,
go down next week or whenever we adopt
When you
the
adopt.
budget.
yes. If
Leave
you,
it as
pro-
it is, and then we have to, we'll bring it down.
All right.
But do you have to have two hearings? If you do that?
yes, to propose last year's rate, we will have to have the two public hearings we just mentioned right now. And of course, on the date of adoption, you can always adopt the effective tax rate.
Well, I believe the consensus is to lower the tax rate and adopt the effective tax rate, but out of an abundance of caution, since we can go up next week or between now and the time we adopt the budget, we'll go ahead and, at this time, consider the same tax rate that we had last year.
Okay.
Do we need a motion for that?
Yes, sir.
so moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
We have no items under closed session.
Move to adjourn?
Is there any executive items? I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Good morning. We're convening our Hidalgo County Commissioners Court meeting for today, August 25th, 2014. The entire court being present, we have a quorum. Please join us in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Father in heaven, first of all, thank you for this day. You didn't bring rain yet to our area, but if you're not going to send rain, please give us patience. Dear Lord, we want to ask your blessings on this group as we decide some important things that will affect our future. Please, dear Lord, bless the world that's in such bad shape. Bless the people who are dying for their freedom. Help us always be thankful for where we live. Thank you for our country. Thank you for our valley. Thank you for our families. And just always help us remember, dear Lord, that all of this is because of your kindness. We ask all these things in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Any concerns with the consent agenda?
Yes, Judge, I would like to ask that consent agenda item 2J be pulled for discussion.
The only one?
That's the only one that I have. I don't know if anybody else has any, but I only have 2J. 2J, I'm sorry.
Two double J.
Judge Commissioner, we'll be requesting no action on 2J.
Right. Move for approval without two double J.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. I've been asked by Commissioner Palacios to move item 10A to the front, but I don't see him here. All right, let's move item, at this time, I'm going to take an item out of order, item number 10A, discussion and action and appointment of the Civil Service Commissioner.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. I'm here on item
Morning.
10A, discussion, consideration, and action on appointment, reappointment of Civil Service Commissioner, and she is here. Mickey Rabinovich has requested to serve another term if you all approve it.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And Judge, I have the oath of office, if you'd like to swear her in here.
Yes, why don't we do it now?
Okay, I have it right here. Would you like for her to go up there with y'all,
Okay.
or do you want to do it here?
Or you can do it from there, just raise your right hand
Okay,
and let me,
hold
and by the way, good morning.
Hi.
Good morning.
If you would raise your right hand and repeat after me. I,
I,
your name,
Mickey Rabinovich,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I would faithfully execute
that I will, I'm sorry, I didn't hear what that said. Gratefully execute
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Hidalgo County Civil Service Commission,
of Hidalgo County Civil Service Commission,
the state of Texas,
the state of Texas,
and will,
and will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
preserve,
preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend
and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
and laws
and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, ma'am.
Thanks.
Thank you for your will. have the commissioner?
He's not here.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners.
All right, under open forum, we have two presenters. The first one is Ms. Fern McClarity.
I haven't been amiss in 48 years. Commissioners and County Judge, one of the reasons that I am here today is to remind you that the White House delayed the implementation of Obamacare employer mandate until 2015. As you may recall, this is the requirement that all firms with 50 or more employees offer health coverage or pay a steep fine. This fact directly impacts the county budget that is currently being discussed. The primary goal of Obamacare is to provide health care for the poor. The destruction of the health insurance industry and lowering the doctor's salary and those of other health care workers were designed to provide health care for all, but especially the poor. Earlier estimates are that health insurance premiums will increase from 16 to 25%, and there will still be a copay. Therefore, at the beginning of 2015, Hidalgo County residents will be paying for federal mandated health insurance and a county tax for indigent health care. So I must ask, when are you going to tell the people that the purpose of the hospital district is not to provide indigent health care, but rather to bail out the private hospitals? How can you get in good conscience ask the poor to subsidize private hospitals? When are you going to tell county employees that the county will no longer pay their health insurance, or at best, the county will only pay a small portion of their health care? You know this will be seen as a salary cut. Your staff will not be surprised to know that this is only the beginning of several tax projects that will further decrease their salaries. The county drainage is coming, and as we see today, y'all were not able to lower the tax rate. You just couldn't do it. You got to put it off and wait. But also, we've got that 10-story glass hotel that's coming. But like I said again, y'all had such a hard decision today to lower it and just couldn't do it. Those of us who sit in the audience wonder if you truly understand the poverty that exists in this county. You do not seem to understand that the laws you create are harming us all, but most especially the poor among us. Not only do we have to pay more taxes, but we have to pay them in a timely manner. The scofflaw is a fee for failing to pay fines, and it falls primarily on the poor. The poor cannot keep up with your ability to create laws and punish them for being poor. Not only are the taxes unfair, you have voted to place an item on the ballot and there's no plan. What are the boundaries for the hospital? Are services for the poor going to be free? What happens if you are not in the county when you get sick? What happens if you need care that is not provided in the local hospitals? Can we go to the hospital closest to us? The McAllen Heart Hospital is not on the list. Why not? Will services be limited to residents of Hidalgo County? Can we keep our doctors, or must we go to different hospitals for different services? Will services to Medicare or Medicaid patients be subsidized? Are we going to keep these hospitals from becoming, or how are you going to keep these hospitals from becoming just like the VA hospitals? You are asking the people to vote on a hospital district and trust you will develop a plan after it is approved. Would you buy a car this way? If you truly understand the conditions of poverty that exist in this county, why are you supporting more taxes? Commissioners, County Judge, these are all valid questions. The voters will expect your answer before the election. And I understand that some of the counties in the state of Texas are lowering their tax rate. How can they do it and Hidalgo County never can? Thank you.
Our next presenter is Virginia Townsend.
Good morning. I had to really think whether I wanted to say anything today, because the whole thing with me is, as I read and read and read about the hospital district, and I read everything from Chuy Hinojosa and then something from somebody else in the state, I'm just trying to really inform myself. But the bottom line is trust. I mean, you just have to trust. And I'm not sure I can trust politicians. I'm just not sure. I wish I could. I wish I could just say, yes, I will trust, when they will never go over that 25-cent limit if we get that cap. We don't have it yet. But if he goes back and puts that cap on, I got to trust that they're going to try to keep it there. See, I have a problem with that. Otherwise, if you keep telling me all the pluses about the hospital district and the medical school and all the stuff, I'm going to hear all that positive, and I'm going to understand it. But then I've got, bottom line is trust. Not easy. And when we're talking about this, I was kind of disappointed in the budget last week that I came to about trying to find the budget. I want to hear some real talk. I don't want to hear Sergio get up here and read a thing and you all accept everything and that's it, kind of, okay, we'll just let him work it out. No, I want to hear, okay, are there any pieces of property that we could get rid of that we don't need and that we shouldn't have and that we could bring the money in for selling it? I mean, yeah, I want to hear that. Is there something like that out there? Are there any programs that are not working? Maybe we should do away with them. I mean, there are so many things we could do to improve that budget, but it's knockdown, drag out kind of stuff. It's not nice. It's not cooperative, it's not particularly pleasant, but I want to hear that that is what is going on from all of you all, so we get down to a budget that's real. And if I see anywhere on that budget, even for the future, that horrible courthouse design, no, the whole thing's out, because that's not practical, and that's not something we can afford. Not anytime in the near future. And the people sitting over in the courthouse who are crying for that courthouse need to come to grips with reality. That's not right for this county, and it would put a burden on taxpayers, and that's not fair. It's just not fair. Go ahead someday if things get better, but not now. I don't even want to see it anywhere in there. Anyhow, that's my opinion. Thanks.
All right, item number 6A.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Bobby Villarreal with the County Judge's Office. The item is just a discussion and consideration regarding the Hidalgo County legislative agenda for the upcoming 84th legislative session. We've called together a couple meetings in the last month. We just want to apprise you all that we are meeting, and I guess if y'all have any needs or wants that we ought to address, or we come across any roadblocks in the past couple of years that we need to clarify with our legislators. They've been asking, they want to see what we're needing. And I know like some of the bigger items are usually planning and their regulatory and the authority they have to regulate subdivisions and that sort of thing. That's one thing. The courthouse too, whether it qualifies under the historical designation, maybe we need to clarify that also with our legislators. But anyway, just giving y'all heads up on that, and if y'all have any questions or needs, please feel free to call us. Thank you.
All right, next item, item 6B. Am I correct that this is the appointment falls on the County Commissioner Precinct 2?
Yes, sir. Currently, we do have Commissioner Tito Palacios is the representative to that board.
I was suggesting to the Commissioner that we just not take any action, that whoever is there right now will remain as a holdover, And then in January, when the new commissioner is sworn in, that he can then appoint whomever he desires.
Yes, whatever the commission wishes.
Okay, no action then.
So we'll take no action. Okay, under item 6C, Jaime Longoria with the County Judge's Office. Discussion, consideration, and approval of the interlocal agreement between the County of Hidalgo and the City of McAllen on the control of rabies within Hidalgo County. Judge, Commissioners, what we're asking is, previously, 2 years ago, we entered into an agreement with the City of McAllen to provide funding to them in order for them to assist us with the control of rabies. They, in turn, contract with whatever entities they see fit to work on control the animal population in the rural areas of the county. We fulfilled the first year of the contract. The second year, we did not receive an invoice from the City of McAllen. Therefore, what we're asking is a 1-year contract to finish out the original 2 years, and we're asking for it's actually the $50,000 commitment that was made originally, minus the 3% that Commissioners Court voted to cut across the board last year. So the contract for this year would be a $48,500 contract, a 1-year contract.
Did we ever get an invoice for last year?
Pardon me?
Last year?
The City of McAllen didn't invoice us, so what we're doing is we're making up for it with this 1-year contract to finish out the 2 years.
Approved.
Judge, this agreement calls for a payment in 10 days, but I would suggest that maybe change it to 30 days, because that's the normal 30-day
That sounds reasonable.
day.
Judge,
If I can respond, the city of McAllen's already passed it, and it's been sitting, I guess, not signed by the county about 2 weeks. The only difference is it's a lump sum payment up front, and what the agreement calls for is paying within 10 days after we approve it. So you've got 10 days to pay it, and the auditor's asking for 30 days to pay it. Otherwise, it's going to go back to City Commission, City of McAllen for approval.
this is actually the same contract that was passed previously, Judge. No changes were made except for the dates.
All right, so so it won't have to go back, then we have to approve the 10-day period.
Yeah.
Correct.
All right. Is that your motion, Commissioner?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioners.
Item 7, Mr. Guerra.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. Item 7A12, there's no action to be taken unless there's action to be taken further down the agenda. Item 7B, Mr. Palacios. Judge, Commissioners, there is a presentation with respect to the current progress at the renovation of the first and second floor old administration building.
Do you have, Okay, thank you. Good morning, County Judge, County Commissioners, members of the court, community. My name is Alex Palacios, Representative Prodigy Construction Management. Update on first and second floors of Hidalgo County. As we move forward on the project, we had we have weekly meetings religiously every Monday morning. Today, because of the change of schedule, our meeting was rescheduled for this afternoon. Progress update on the first floor. On the picture on the left-hand side, as you can see, we have construction workers installing what we call the suspended ceiling, and the perimeter of the walls of the drywall and the floor, the flooring right here in this area. But we wanted to focus at the suspended ceiling, the air conditioning ductwork, and the light work is all moving forward and in progress. There's another picture of the suspended ceiling on the left, on the right-hand side, a close-up view of everything, of the lights, fixtures, electricals up in this area, and the structure that's all been installed. The reason that you do not see the suspended ceiling like a typical office is because the City of Edinburgh has to do an overhead inspection, and that's further down the road as we come closer to a close on the project. Additional metal stud is going up. We have electrical conduits. Since it's a large, long project on 2 floors, we have a continuous ongoing on the electrical, wiring, and the metal stud partitions. Both pictures of similar progress, but in different areas of the building. The metal studs on the floor is ongoing, including the areas where the restrooms are.
Behind this area, you'll see that in order for us to install the mechanical systems in the back, we have to leave some areas open so this large pieces of equipment can be rolled in and installed. A close-up view on the right-hand side is several pieces of merchandise and equipment that was purchased in order by the contractor, and it's being stored on site. On the left-hand side, we have, this will be a new men's and women, what we call gang restrooms. As you can see, the toilet mountings are being there. On the right-hand side, on the second floor, it's coming closer together. We don't have a good lighting in there, so as you can see, the contractors are working with the best they can with the little lighting that they have, but it's coming together. Another area of the second floor, and mechanical systems, the contractor has poured concrete slabs for the forthcoming of the new installation of equipment. This is a more finished and defined area as we move forward on the second floor. The metal studs walls were in place, the drywall is coming together, and it's starting to take shapes as far as the offices and the meeting rooms, etc. This debris down here in this area is not junk or it's actually material that is going to be placed in the floor area. Again, another view of the offices on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side you can see a corridor somewhat as it's coming to a close. We have tape and float. The only thing that's missing is the door frame installation on the right-hand side. Again, ongoing progress work for mechanical equipment. Concrete slabs are being poured, and in the main lobby area, work is being taken place. Now, this picture was taken at a very high elevation. Refrigerant lines are being in the main atrium area, and those have been completed. We do have some issues that we have cited the contractor and brought it up to the architect's attention. We do have concerns on the uneven of the concrete floor, but the contractor is aware of them. Actually, this is in the area of the Commissioner's Court of the dais area. As you can see, the contractor is addressing the area. Concrete has been broken, and it's going to be reported in the areas of concern. Again, this is another area of the dais area and the offices of a change proposal that was submitted a couple of weeks ago. It's ongoing, and it's about 50% complete in this area in the dais. On the right-hand side, we have areas where we had a proposed drinking fountain area, and that area is it's been ongoing because of as you can see, I want to bring some highlight on this particular picture. This is a clear indication of the types of elements that when we uncover and we open the walls, I want to describe of what exactly is lurking behind these walls. As you can see, when we open it up, we have existing electrical systems, sanitary sewer, and water that goes up to the fourth, fifth, the upper floors. Well, in this particular area, we had to make an adjustment to meet ADA and provide a drinking fountain, which it becomes very complicated to do. I just received an email that we are to provide it. We're making the changes and no additional cost to the owner. I won't go through these all in detail, but we are continuing our request for information, ongoing process. We're at 57 RFIs. We are addressing 55 through 57. We have change requests on the table that we will discuss this afternoon. We are continuing to review change directive number 6. We are on application number 9 that was approved last week in the amount of $294. And we are reviewing current application number 10 that's on the table for review this afternoon in the amount of $130,000. We have some open RFIs and pending issues that we need to address. That we will be taking care of them this afternoon. And again, this is a snapshot of the progress, the financials, and where we are today. Basically, we're moving very, very steadily. Balance to finish to date is $1.3 million. Which is in this area right here. The project schedule is a moving timeline. We have entertained some issues that the contractor has requested for additional days. We are going to review those today and the details as to why. And I expect to bring that information to you on the next meeting that we have.
What is the new completion date then?
Well, Judge, we had February on the table. The contractor has submitted an additional timeline, extension of days. Those extension
For how
of days.
long?
That's the question we're going to find out today. The
What
concerns,
about money? Is there an increase in cost?
we will iron that today. I believe there is some increase in costs that are projected from the contractor, and we will define those as to why, and we will determine as to how he came to that cost and the resultant as to why.
Well, yeah, make sure you include the whys.
Yes, sir. Are there any other questions?
Get her done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Judge, there's no action under 2 and 3 of that same item. Item C, are delinquent tax attorneys. There's a presentation. It's a report by Purdue, Brandon Fielder, Collins, and Mott LLP.
Good morning once again, Judge, Commissioners. For the record, Iram Gutierrez, partner with Purdue, Brandon Fielder, Collins, and Mott, your delinquent tax attorneys. I'm here to present you with your delinquent tax report for fiscal 2013-2014, that being July 1st to June 30th of 2014. The Hidalgo County's delinquent tax program is designed with an emphasis of working with taxpayers. To that end, during this reporting period, we have conducted over 73,000 phone calls involving delinquent tax accounts in Hidalgo County. We have also sent out over 96,000 notices of delinquency, and this is in addition to the specialized notices out of our office here in McAllen. We have also conducted over 1,600 property inspections, and we have entered into 437 payment agreements involving over $755,000 in base tax owed to Hidalgo County. When phone calls, notices, or property inspections do not have the desired result, we resort to litigation. During this period, we have filed over 2,698 suits involving claims totaling $11,872,000 in base tax owed to the county. However, once we file litigation, we still continue trying to work with the taxpayer and enter into the payment agreement or collect the delinquent taxes during that part of the collections process. However, when litigation does not result in the desired effect, we move over to tax sales. During this period, we have posted 474 properties for tax sale. The results of that tax sale, 196 accounts entered into payment agreements involving over $852,000. 185 properties were struck off, that is, the taxing entities became owners of those properties, and that involved over $868,000. 93 properties were sold, bringing in $329,000 to the county. When a property is struck off to the taxing entity, we have some options. We can have a public auction or accept private bids. During this period, we've had 2 auctions, one in November of 2013 and one in April of 2014. The results were that we sold 102 properties, bringing in over $197,000 to the county. Page 5 of the report shows the results of the collections for the fiscal year. During this period, we collected $10,295,000 in base tax, and an additional $4,077,000 in penalties and interest, for a grand total of $14,373,000. Page 6 of your report has a comparison last year with this fiscal year. Last year, collections were 31.5%. This year, they dropped a bit to 31.14%. And at this point, I open it up to any questions that you might have.
When you talk about the total collected for the county, is that strictly for the county, or is that divided up between a county and a school?
No, this is strictly for the county, and by the way, it does not include the drainage district as well, or the emergency districts. That's separate. That's some additional money that was also for the county. But this is just for the county.
Are there any other questions?
Everything's self-explanatory on this.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item 2, Judge Commissioners, is discussion and possible action on an order authorizing the resale of foreclosed real estate properties for failure to pay ad valorem taxes.
This is the item that was discussed during the Drainage District part of the meeting. These are it's a tax resale. There's 44 properties that were received bids in the June 2014 tax resale. There's also another property that is being resubmitted. It had already been pre-approved. However, there was a correction that needed to be done on the court cost. And then there's 2 other properties. There's a private bid submitted by the City of Mission and a private bid submitted by the City of FAR. The bid from the City of FAR, if you look at that, it's the equivalent of the base tax owed to the taxing entities is what they're offering to pay. We are asking that these bids be approved and an order be.
Different properties that they're bidding on?
There's the City of FAR is bidding on one in the City of FAR, and City of Mission is bidding on one in the City of Mission. And we passed some binders with all the properties, so if you have any questions on anything.
Okay, this is the one from the City of Mission and the City of FAR, and then that private sale.
Right, well.
The correction on that.
Correction, right. That one had already been approved before, but there's a correction as far as how the money is being distributed.
Need action go ahead and resell this one, right?
We need an order passed.
Yes.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you once again.
Thank you. Item D, Judge Commissioners, I'm asking the court to accept the settlement check from Fred Loya Insurance Company in the amount of $531.14 and $300.46 to settle an auto accident with one of our county vehicles.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judges, as our protocol dictates, there's a request for permission to utilize the open forum area at the courthouse grounds for a prayer rally on Saturday, September 13th from 9 to 11 a.m. All appropriate protocols will be followed if approved.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. And then we have the tax office, I believe.
Before we do that,
Oh.
you requested that I move up
Yes.
the constables?
The constable's office.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, Eva.
Morning, Judge, gentlemen. Requesting approval for the process of the following invoices and claiming authority for the county treasurers to issue payment after review, audit, and processes. Procedures are completed by the county auditor.
Approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And B, discussion, consideration, and approval of appointment of deputy constable by Constable Celestino Avila Jr., Constable Precinct 1, in accordance to the Texas Local Government Code 86.011, as follows: Carlos Gonzalez Jr.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Excuse me, sir, on the claim?
Yes.
On the claim, were you involved with the purchasing and the discussion of this invoice? Normally, those claims go through purchasing nowadays.
Oh, no, I don't.
Was there truly a claim, Marty? Okay. All right. I guess court already approved it, so we'll pay it. Thank you.
Judge, item C is Constable Precinct 3. It's a stop truancy.
That's Mr. Gallardo. Good morning, sir.
Item C is Constable Precinct 3, stop truancy. Just a little history. This is our continuation of Project Stop, where we have truancy officers assigned to Mission, Sheridan, and La Jolla. You approved or gave me the approval to submit those interlocals to the school districts, which they have approved, to match 50% funding. So number one is approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor.
Approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Approval of appropriation of funds for the school district and local match, which is 50%.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
And approval of salary schedule.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Precinct 4.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning, Constable.
We're here, Judge, Commissioners, on A1-46064, Constable Precinct 4, discussion, consideration, and approval to appoint Deborah Ann Marmolejo and Jesse D. Gaitan as Reserve Deputy Constables by Constable J.R. Gaitan, Constable Precinct 4, in accordance with Texas Local Government Code Section 86.012.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Next line item, Judge, A1-46071, Constable Precinct Number 4, discussion, consideration, and approval to appoint Orlando Lopez as Deputy Constable by Constable A.G. Gaitan, Constable Precinct 4, in accordance with Texas Local Government Code Section 86.001.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge, on the next one, A1-46075, we are requesting no action at this time.
All right, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.
Judge, with that being said, please, the court will go back to item 8.
I know we have our county clerk here. Is there an item that you're here on, Arturo? All right. All right, then we now move back up to item 8, our tax office, 8A.
Good morning again, Judge, Commissioners.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Eva Mireles here on behalf of Paul Villarreal, Tax Assessor Collector. I'm here to discuss and propose and take a record vote for the Hidalgo County 2014 tax rate. And I believe I asked Valde to give you a handout as to what we will be discussing today. In front of you is the benchmark. The effective tax rate for the Hidalgo County came out to 0.5822. Effective tax rate will bring the county the same levy as last year, which is 100.
I don't believe we have it.
I'm sorry.
We have the one for the drainage.
Right.
We got the one for the drainage.
No, you know what, Ms. Eva, I apologize. I got him here.
Thank you, sir.
Sure. My apologies for that.
Valdez one.
No, I'm sorry. Yes, they have a hard enough job as it is.
In front of you is a benchmark, and again, as I was saying, the effective tax rate came out to 0.5822, which this tax rate, the effective, will bring you a levy of 164 million, which is the same levy as last year. Of course, and you have your rollback rate, which is the highest rollback that you can propose and adopt without being petitioned for a rollback election, and that came out to 0.6250, which will bring an additional levy of over $11 million. And of course, last year's tax rate, which is 0.5900, will still bring the county additional levy from last year of over $2 million. So with that being said, we move to the next page, which is the calendar, because of whatever the governing board proposes today. If you propose anything higher than the effective tax rate, will require 2 public hearings. And we have scheduled 2 public hearings with the approval of this court, which will be September the 9th of 2014, your first public hearing, your second public hearing, which will be September the 23rd, and of course, the final date to adopt will be September the 30th. And then after whatever is proposed today, the second page will actually be the notice that will be published on the Monitor.
Valde, didn't you, excuse me, Sergio, didn't you say at the hearing that we were going to be getting 172 million in income this year on the same tax rate?
That's what we have projected, Judge.
Now it's down to 166.
That's only tax revenue. We also have additional revenue. Actually, the revenue, once the auditor presents his item, Actually, the revenue estimate that I gave, 172, was a lot lower than what the auditor had. He's projecting 176.5.
Actually,
This is only tax revenue, Judge.
yes. Actually, he is correct. Unfortunately, we were not able to make an item. We have good news to report to the commissioners, but we didn't make the item at the agenda of increased revenues in tax revenues from last year to this year. So we'll be here on September the 9th to report that.
I think I'm estimating $159 million
Yes,
in taxes.
for general fund. Or,
For the whole
or for
thing.
the whole,
General fund, 143.
correct.
Debt service, about 16 or so.
At a
159,
94.5 collection rate? Is that correct?
Yeah, on the current taxes only, it's 159 million.
Correct.
159 on the current.
That's correct.
But
At a
then we
94
add penalties and interest and delinquents and all of those, that increases, but
That's correct.
this is current taxes only, right?
That is current taxes only, yes. And this is at 100% collection
At 100%, right? And I'm estimating at a lower rate because we don't collect 100%.
That's
Judge.
correct.
But if you put the penalties and interest, you do exceed the 100%.
Well, but we're talking about current taxes only. That's why we have the previous presenters talked about delinquent tax collection.
Judge, Commissioners, I am basing the revenue estimate of 176.5 that the auditor has given me is based on, is what we're using for budget estimate, so we do recommend that we stay at the 59 cents.
All right, sir. Commissioners, is it consensus that we stay at 59?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but would that
You need
trigger-
action on it?
Would that trigger 2 hearings?
Yes.
The 59 cents?
Yes. So at this time, I will ask the governing body to make a motion to make a record vote as far as I'm proposing last year's rate at .5900.
All right.
That's my motion.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. And with that being said, September the 9th of 2014 will be the first public hearing, and the second public hearing will be September the 23rd to meet to adopt on September the 30th of 2014. Any further questions?
Got it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Judge, for the record, can you state the commissioners that are here present?
Yes, Commissioner Precinct 1, Commissioner Precinct 2, Commissioner Precinct 3, and myself.
Thank you.
Absent?
Absent is Commissioner Precinct 4.
Does the motion need to be made with specific language, Steve, or no?
You have to, well, we followed what she said. That was my motion. Exactly what she read.
Sometimes you have to make a motion with certain language, not on this one?
That's for adoption.
Okay.
That's for adoption.
All right, next item. Item number 11, our Health Department.
One more item, if I
One
may.
more item, B.
The approval of the interlocal, the amendment of the interlocal agreements. Judge, we're asking for approval of the amendment of the interlocal contracts that we have with the schools and cities. We have raised them by 5%. The last time we raised them by 5% was in 2010. We are projecting over $80,000 in additional revenue for the 2015 budget.
For approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, Judge. Morning, Commissioners.
sir.
Eddie Olivares, Hidalgo County Health and Human Services. Sir, first item we have is item 11A, update on Operation Lone Star. Sir, I want to give you the preliminary numbers. Operation Lone Star is the country's largest joint civilian and military exercise in the United States. And we had a tremendous support from the military, State Guard, Department of State Health Services, and various partners in the community. Just to give you an overview, we had 2 sites. We had one at PSJ High School and one at Palmview High School in La Jolla School District. At PSGA, we had over 2,600 people attend, 2,649 people attend that event, and they received over 9,185 services. At Palmview in La Jolla, we had over 4,196 attend, and we provided 11,338 services for a total of over 20,503 different types of services given.
At La Jolla, we had dental component that provided 737 dental assessments and provided over 1,200 dental procedures. Provided also vision and had over 492 vision exams and provided 492 glasses, lenses, and frames at no cost to them. So all this project went well over $500,000 of services given to the community at no cost. And at the same time, it was used as an exercise for our military or civilians to demonstrate a large casualty event that occurs. So we're practicing the only place in the United States that that's done, nowhere else, sir. So we're very proud of the fact that Dr. Benavides at La Jolla ISD and Dr. King at PSJ ISD came forward and helped, along with Mr. Brock from the remote area Access Medical from Knoxville, Tennessee, who came down and provided the dental and vision support at no cost to our community. It was a tremendous, tremendous success, and there's very many partners that we need to thank. Eva Rubio, who took the lead at our department, Hidalgo County Health Human Services, along with Nancy Trevino, of course, Dr. Smith and Barbara Adams. And we had just over 1,000 volunteers that came and took part in this. So this was a tremendous successor, and I wanted to thank the Commissioner's Court, County Judge's Office, and the Executive Office for helping us deal with this and getting everything ready for this event, sir. Any questions on Operation Lone Star, sir? All right, we move on to item 11B, requesting approval to have the renovation of the county health clinics inspected pursuant to Texas Architects Bureau Act. We had some renovations done to the clinics over the last year, but there was a requirement by the Department of State Health Services that there needs to be an assessment done. We're working in conjunction with Mr. Flores through Building and Grounds on this as well, and facility maintenance. So item 1 is requesting approval to have the renovation of the county health clinics inspected pursuant to Texas Architectural Bureau's Act.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is requesting approval to have county judge sign the inspection notice.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
And item 3, requesting approval to have county judge sign the request for inspection form.
For approval.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
In Hidalgo County Health and Human Services, we're always looking for new funding, always looking to see what we could find to help our community. Item C is requesting approval to apply for a cardiovascular disease and stroke program funding offered by the Texas Department of State Health Services in the amount of $50,000. This grant, if we apply, sir, we're one of only about 7 people that are going to apply. It's stiff competition, but we're going to go for it.
Move for approval.
And the money will be used for what?
Will be used to educate the folks in our community on heart attack prevention and stroke prevention and provide an educational component to our community.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item D, sir, is our TB Elimination Federal, requesting approval to accept the TB PC Fed Tuberculosis Prevention and Control Contract number 2015-001400-00 in the amount of $428,212 for the period of September 1st, 2014 through August 31st, 2015, sir.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Hold on, please, Eddie.
Yes, sir.
Can we cover all the, in groups, 1 through 7, 1 through 7, 1 through 7?
They're all related.
Yes.
Yes, I think you can do 2
All right,
through 7.
let's take them in categories then.
Very good, sir. So do I need to read them for the record, Steve, or do I just? Okay, just for the record, I'm going to read them. Requesting approval for county, number 2 is requesting approval for county judge to sign e-sign the TB PC federal contract. Number 3, requesting approval for county judge to e-sign certificate regarding lobbying statement. Number 4, requesting approval for county judge to sign e-sign the fiscal federal funding accountability and transparency act certification statement. And number 5, requesting approval of certification of revenue in the amount of $142,737.33 from 9/1/2014 to 12/31/2014.
Mr. Alvarez, let's stop there, because the next one I think we've got to do separately.
Okay.
Eddie, how come the date is different?
Sir, what happens is that the state of Texas went to bundling contracts where they put all their contracts together. And since the state year is different than the county year, that's the reason why there's an overlap. That's why that's being done in place there.
The one is cuts off at 12:31, the other one goes all the way to 8:31.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Need a motion to
Wait, was
approve?
the last one, Steve?
1 through 5.
1 through 5, move, that's my motion.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Requesting, number 6, requesting approval of budget appropriations in the amount of $142,737.33 from federal funds in the amount of, in the federal funds in the amount of $28,546 from local match. And that's already been budgeted for and assessed through Sergio's office and our budget program.
Second.
That's 6 and 7 then.
Right.
And then item 7, requesting approval for the salary schedule as indicated.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
So item E is similar. We're going to go through this quickly here. Requesting number 1 through 5 will be
1 through 4.
1 through 4. Requesting approval to acceptance of CPS Hazards Public Health Emergency Preparedness Grant Contract 2015-001134-00 in the amount of $567,198 for a period of September 1st, 2014 to August 31st, 2015. Requesting approval, number 2 is requesting approval for county judge to sign the CBPS Hazard PHEP grant contract. Number 3 is requesting approval for county judge to e-sign certification regarding lobbying statement. Number 4 is requesting approval for county judge to sign e-sign Federal Fiscal Funding or Accountability and Transparency Act statement. That's 1 through 4, sir.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
Number 5 is requesting approval for the certification of revenue in the amount of $567,198.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 6, requesting approval of the budget appropriations in the amount of $567,198 from state funds in the amount of $56,723 from local match, which has already been allocated through budget office.
Move for,
Those in favor, say aye.
aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And number 7, approval for the deletion of the following vacancy. Commissioner Palacios, just to follow through on what we've always done. Hidalgo County is following through. We had a reduction in this grant. We eliminated a position. And so we do that. So requesting approval to delete the following vacant full-time position. This position was actually eliminated about 2 months ago, so it worked out.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 8, requesting approval of the salary schedule.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item F is infectious disease and control. I think we can go, I'll do 1 through 3 here. Requesting approval to accept the infectious disease control unit contract 2015-046497-001 in the amount of $73,433 for the period of 9/1/2014 through 8/31/2015. Number 2 is requesting approval for county judge to sign infectious disease control unit FY15 contract, grant contract. Number 3 is requesting approval for county judge to sign the Fiscal Federal Accountability and Transparency Act certification, 1 through 3.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 4 is approval of the certification of revenue in the amount of $73,433.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 5 is approval of the budget appropriations in the amount of $73,433.
For approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 6, approval of salary schedule as
Move for
attached.
approval.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item G, sir, is requesting approval of the amendment to the interlocal cooperation agreement with La Jolla Independent School District. The amendment will change change the food handler class fee from $10 per employee per year to $20 per employee for every 2 years. This has already gone through legal counsel, and this is due to policy changes, and legal has approved.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item H, sir, I will go 1 through 4, is, and this is the immunization, local immunization branch grant. Number one, requesting approval to accept the immunization, locals immunization branch grant number 2015000022-00 in the amount of $649,320 for the period of 9/1/2014 through 8/31/2015. Number two is requesting approval for the county judge to e-sign immunization local grant contract. Number three is requesting approval of the county judge to sign the e-sign certifications regarding lobbying statement. Number four is requesting approval for the county judge to e-sign the Fiscal Federal Funding Accountability Transparency Act statement, certification statement, 1 through 4.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number five is requesting approval of certification revenue in the amount of $649,320.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number six, requesting approval for the budget appropriations in the amount of $649,320.
For approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Requesting approval, number seven is requesting approval of salary schedule attached.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The next item under H is immunization program income. Requesting approval of the certification of revenue in the amount of $110,113 for immunization program income.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item two is requesting approval of the budget appropriations in the amount of $110,113 for TVFC program income.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item I is our TB control grant, and I will go 1 through 4 on this. Requesting approval to accept the Tuberculosis Prevention Control State Grant, Contract 2015-001417-00 in the amount of $596,793 for a period of 9/1/214 to 8/31/215. Number two is requesting approval for county judge to e-sign TBPC state contract. Number three, requesting approval for the county judge to e-sign the certification regarding lobbying statements. Number four is requesting approval for the county judge to e-sign Fiscal Federal Funding Accountability and Transparency Act certification statement, 1 through 4, sir.
Move for second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number five is requesting approval of certification of revenue in the amount of $596,793.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number six, requesting approval of the budget appropriations in the amount of $596,793 from state funds in the amount of $119,359 for local match, been appropriated and approved by Budget Office.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Requesting approval of certification revenue in the amount of $25,000 for program income funds.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number eight, requesting approval of budget appropriations in the amount of $25,000 for program income funds.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number nine, requesting approval of the salary schedule is attached.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Letter J is requesting approval to accept the Department of State Health Services Title IV Program Contract 2015-0460009-001 in the amount of $144,029 for the period of 9/1/2014 through 8/31/2015. Number two is requesting approval for county judge to sign the Title V parental contract. Number three is requesting approval for county judge to sign the Fiscal Federal Funding Accountability and Transparency Act certification statement. It's 1 through 3, sir. Number four?
Go through five.
Go through 5. Okay, number 4 is requesting approval for the county judge to sign the disclosure of ownership and control interest statement. Number 5 is requesting approval for the county judge to sign the certification regarding lobbying statement, 1 through 5, sir.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 6, sir, requesting approval for the certification of revenue in the amount of $144,029.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 7, requesting approval of budget appropriations in the amount of $144,029.
For approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 8 is requesting approval of the salary schedules attached on the
For
documents.
approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item K, Child Health Services. I will go through 1 through 4 on that. 1 through 4, requesting approval to accept the Department of State Health Services Title V Child Services Grant Contract 2015-046149-001 in the amount of $34,083 for a period of 9/1/2014 through 8/31/2015. Request number 2, requesting approval of the county judge to sign the Department of State Health Services Title V Child Health Service Contract. Number 3, requesting approval for the county judge to sign the Fiscal Federal Funding Accountability Transparency Act certification statement. And number 4, requesting approval for the county judge to sign the disclosure of ownership and control interest statement. 1 through 4, sir.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 5, requesting approval of the certification of revenue in the amount of $34,833.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 6, requesting approval of the budget appropriations in the amount of $34,833.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 7, requesting approval of the salary schedules attached, sir.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Letter L, sir, the RLSS and LPHS contract regarding, I will go through 1 through 4. Requesting approval to accept the RLSS and LPHS Local Public Health System Grant Contract 2015-001052-00 in the amount of $102,403 for the grant period of 9/1/2014 through 8/31/2015. Number 2, requesting approval of the county judge to e-sign the RLSS LPHS contract. Number 3, requesting approval for the county judge to e-sign certifications regarding lobbying statement. And number 4 is requesting approval from the county judge to e-sign the Fiscal Federal Funding Accountability and Transparency Act certification statement. 1 through 4, sir.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 5, requesting approval of the certification of revenue in the amount of $102,403.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 6, requesting approval of the budget appropriations in the amount of $102,403.
For approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 7, requesting approval of the salary schedule attached.
For approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Letter M, sir, requesting approval of memorandum of understanding and data use agreement between the Department of State Health Services, Hidalgo County Health and Human Services Department, and Mission Regional Medical Center. The MOU serves the public purpose in protecting public health and citizens of Texas. This is for the syndromic and surveillance system for diseases in our community, sir.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item N, sir, is that this is something I'm very proud of, sir, and I'm bringing before Commissioners Court, requesting approval to submit the Office of Governor appointment application. The application is for consideration of membership to United States U.S.-Mexico Board of Health Commission. I have been chosen as a delegate to be considered by the Governor's Office and to be forwarded to President of the United States to serve on the U.S.-Mexico Board of Health Commission. There's only 2 people in the state of Texas that would be given this honor. And I've been selected as a potential candidate for that, sir.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. On item N and P, correction,
Eddie.
Yes, sir.
To talk to you.
Pardon me? Go back? Okay. Yes, sir. Item O and P, sir, there is no discussion unless you have any questions in these areas, sir. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. Item 12, emergency management.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners, Oscar Montoya with the County Judge Ramon Garcia's office. I hope it's a good thing to go after Eddie. On item 12A, presentation, discussion, authorization to submit the frequency reconfiguration agreement between County of Hidalgo and Nextel, Texas, to compensate the County of Hidalgo for cost to facilitate the transition for reconfiguration of the county 800 megahertz radio system. Basically, the court had already authorized me back in May to sign off and submit this. However, there were some questions on the word compensate. I just wanted to clarify that language with the commissioners and with the auditors that they're only going to be, it's something they're doing nationwide, and what they do is they allow us to accumulate the amount of time that we use helping them with this. It's stuff that we would do anyway on a regular daily basis, except they're compensating the county, so there will be no expenditure on the county's part.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number two is basically the same thing, presentation, discussion, authorization to submit the Motorola Solutions reconfiguration implementation phase agreement as part of the 800 megahertz reconfiguration of the county radio system.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. God bless.
Item 13, Urban County.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Our first item on the agenda is requesting the approval of amendment number 1 to the 3-year cooperation agreement with the 18 member cities and authorize the county judge to sign any and all documents pertaining to this amendment.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B is requesting your approval to rescind action taken by Hidalgo County Commissioners Court on June 17, 2014. Item number 14D, which called for the approval of a contract extension with HLH Appraisal Services. The contract expired on June 4th, therefore, the action taken by Commissioners Court should be voided.
We're going to rescind it.
Yes, please.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And because we had to rescind this contract, we started the process again for requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under the Texas Local Government Code 262.024A4 for appraisal review services. Requesting the exemption.
Move for second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is a presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking by Commissioners Court the sole member of the county's approved professional appraisal services pool. The organization is HLH Appraisal Services, and the grade received was 92.66.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 3 is the approval to negotiate a professional appraisal services review contract with HLH Appraisal Services as the sole member qualified firm for the appraisal review services for the Penitas Drain.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item D is authority to negotiate a professional services engineering contract with the second highest ranked firm known as South Texas Infrastructure LLC for the provision of engineering services for a project in the city of Penitas. This is a street improvement project. We were unable to negotiate with the number 1 ranked firm. Therefore, we're recommending that we go with the second highest ranked firm.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Steve, you don't need action to cancel the prior,
I think the only thing she needs to do
To
is...
cancel what?
The only thing she needs to do is make a statement that she's ceasing negotiations with the highest ranked firm, and she implied that when she made her presentation. But just for the record, just say that you're ceasing negotiations.
Yes.
with the
Yeah,
highest-
Well,
normally
we actually received a letter from the number 1 ranked firm that said that we were not able, they were too busy at the time, so therefore we weren't able to continue with them.
normally when you can't reach an agreement with the number 1 rank, I think that's action to cease and then go to the second rest.
Right, and she implied that she's ceasing, so I just want to have her put that on the record.
Thank you, Steve. Okay. Item E is requesting acceptance and action to correct the bid from $38,892 as received to $38,887.57 due to the contractor's mathematical error.
Approval. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is on behalf of Precinct 1 requesting consideration and action to award and enter into a construction contract with Herrera and Hunt for a total contract amount of $38,887.57 for a Precinct 1 Park Recreational Facility Improvement Project.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item F is requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262.024
24A4 for professional engineering services, which calls for construction material testing.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking by Commissioners Court of 3 professional engineering firms from the county's approved pool. The 3 firms evaluated Robert Kistner with a grade of 99, LNG Engineering with a grade of 97.33, and Terracon Consultants with a grade of 96.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 3 is authority to negotiate a professional engineering service contract with the highest ranked firm of Robert Kistner for the constructive materials for this City of Progreso Street Improvement Project.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item G is requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262.024A4 for professional engineering services related to construction material testing.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is a presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking by Commissioners Court of 3 professional engineering firms from the county's approved pool for a City of Edcouch project. The 3 firms that were evaluated are LNG Engineering with a grade of 97.67, Terracon Consultants with a grade of 90, and PSI Laboratories with a grade of 89.67.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 3 is authority to negotiate a professional engineering service contract with the highest ranked firm of LNG Engineering.
For approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Our Head Start program. Morning,
Good morning,
sir.
Commissioners.
Morning.
Edmundo Garcia for Hidalgo County Head Start. Item number 14A, discussion and approval of area distribution list. This is how we actually allocate centers by region within the county. It's part of our bylaws, and it's review every year for your approval. It's got the centers, and it's got the population. The one submitted with the agenda had a minor change, which is why we submitted this one. It was a classroom change from Las Milpas to Napper. That's why we're resubmitting the schedule for your review. It doesn't impact anything, it's just a shift in students in that area.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, we ask for no action at this time.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
There'd just be no action.
No action, Judge.
Doesn't require a motion.
Oh,
No action.
well, it says approval.
Well, he's asking for no action.
That's asking to take no action on it.
All right.
Item C, presentation of the providers submitting response to the following Hidalgo County Head Start programs request for qualification and meeting the minimum requirement as set forth in the procurement packets and as determined by the Head Start program staff, grading, scoring said responses for the purpose of Commissioners Court accepting the providers as qualified in order to proceed to the next phase of the procurement process, negotiating contract for speech interpreting services, number 2014-005-0619. Should I go to B and A?
We need to take action on that first.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Letter A, Amy Jeff Hermanson, DBA Sign Language Services. B, South Texas Interpreters for the Deaf LLC.
Move for approval.
That's just explain the two that were
Right.
qualified.
The two.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's two, it's C1, 2, and 3?
Now we're going to item 2.
Now we're going to, okay.
So we did not need action on A and B?
No, you took action on that in 1. When you
Order
said
one.
Number
no.
one. That was part of number one.
Okay, go ahead.
Number 2, approval for the Head Start to negotiate a contract in form approved by legal counsel for the professional services providers as requested through the Hidalgo County Head Start Program RFQ for said services as detailed above, attached here too.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item D, presentation for discussion, consideration, and approval to enter into a memorandum of understanding, MOU, between Hidalgo County Head Start Program and the entities listed on the attached list. There's about 30 members of the community, actually entities, like school districts that we have partnerships agreement with. And these are agreements for training, there's no monetary cost at all. They used to be very informal partnership agreements. And after consulting with council, we were asked to make them MOUs. And that's why we're here today. I don't know if you want me to read the list.
It would be good if you read the list.
I'm sorry?
It'd be better if you read the list.
Okay. The list include Donna ISD for evaluate, identity, and serve children with disabilities, Ed Couch Elsa ISD, Edinburgh CISD, Edinburgh ISD, Hidalgo County, La Jolla, McAllen ISD, Mercedes ISD, Mission, Progreso, PSAA, Sharyland, Valley View, West Laco ISD, Avance, which is another Head Start program in the area that goes into early childhood, County of Hidalgo, Community Service Agencies, Easter Seals, Hidalgo County WIC program, foster grandparents, they're also in our classrooms, Mujeres Unidas, Partners Resources Network, Inc., Team Project, Region 1 Educational Service, Region 1 Educational Service Intervention Program, ECI, South Texas College, Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, Texas Attorney General, and the University of Texas Pan American Coordinated Programs in Dietetics. Those are all some of the partners that we partner with yearly.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item E, discussion and approval to review the interlocal agreement with the South Texas Cooperative through Region 1 Education Services Center for the purpose of purchasing all foods, commodities, uniforms, supplies, and services. This is how we actually feed our children for the program. It's a yearly program, it's on a reimbursement basis. And what we do here, we actually get the best prices through this entity, so we're able to afford meals for the kiddos.
For approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Okay.
Thank you.
He's got
I
one
think
more.
there's one more. F, discussion and approval of bid award and contract to the lowest best bid, meeting all specifications for bid 2014-00408-01. That's for air conditioning maintenance services for the year.
For approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item 15, our WIC program.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. I'm here for A, WIC Administration, approval to deobligate funds from the WIC Administrative FY 2014 grant in the amount of $213,034.51 due to decreased client participation rate.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. At this time, we're going to take a very brief recess of our meeting and convene our Hidalgo County Commissioners Court Budget Workshop set for today, August 25th, 2014. And present are Commissioner Cuellar, Precinct 1, Commissioner Palacios, Precinct 2, Commissioner Flores, Precinct 3, and myself. We have a quorum. Before we proceed with the workshop, we're going to come back and complete our meeting. Commissioners Court meeting. Item 16, our auditor.
Judge, do we want to recess the budget meeting?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Good morning. The first item is authorization for the county auditor to disseminate the county's 2013 Comprehensive Annual Financial Report, CAFR, and single audit in order to comply with the Single Audit Act. Burton, McCumber, and Cortez was scheduled to present the CAFR to Commissioners Court. However, they had a scheduling conflict, so that's going to be on the next agenda. In the meantime, we do need to distribute the CAFR to our grantor agencies. We have a deadline by law.
Approve this. Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Okay, item B is discussion, consideration, approval for the County Auditor's Office to conduct an audit of the Chapter 59 Asset Forfeiture Report prepared by the Hidalgo County District Attorney's Office for fiscal year 2014 pursuant to the Chapter 59 Asset Forfeiture Report requirements.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Okay, item C is approval of the 2014 certification of new sources of revenue. And as part of our budget process, we look at the prior estimations, and we look to see if there are any new sources of revenue. And there are, for general fund, $978,395.69 of new revenue sources. For special revenue funds, there's $946,493.39. For debt service funds, $478,931.89. And for a proprietary fund, that's the Joe Commissary, $318,945.38. This is for the 2014 budget.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Okay, and then item 2 is a presentation of the 2015 Statement of Estimated Available Resources, and that is this binder that I think everybody has. And for the 2015 budget, we estimate ending fund balances for 2014, and then we also project revenues for 2015. So for 2014, particularly for the general fund, we're projecting an ending fund balance of $34,684,010. And this amount of money, this $34 million, does include the $978,395.69, which you just approved, that we just certified. So if these new revenue sources are appropriated, then the estimated fund balance will decrease proportionally. Also, for the 2015 revenues, we're estimating, and these are other revenue sources, these are not taxes, $24,945,605, and this is about $3.5 million more than what we estimated last year's budget cycle.
Should I hear correctly, our fund balance is going to increase?
Yes.
How much, más o menos?
Well,
I think it's 3, but how much is it going to increase?
2.7?
I think the new fund balance went up by 10 million. Is that what the question is?
10, yeah.
I think last year
From
we had
last year's estimate?
I'm sorry?
From last year's estimate, you mean?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, last year's estimate, we were estimating fund balance to be at 23 million. This year, we're estimating it to be at 34 million,
So it's going to increase by how much?
about 10 million.
About 7 million.
How much?
About 10 million,
I just want you to say.
louder.
You know,
Yes.
23
Can
to
you
10
repeat
million.
that? Can you repeat that?
Yeah.
I think that's due to the new sources of revenue and additional revenue that we received.
We had 23 million last year?
Right. However, this 34 million doesn't account for if you use any of it to balance your 2015 budget. That
Last
comes
year.
out of that, right?
Yeah.
So last year, you used about 11 million.
Yeah, but 23 to 31 is 8.
I think 34, no?
It's
34.
34, 6.
34.
It's 34,
Last
not
year was
31.
All
about
right.
23, yeah.
That's a little bit over 10 then.
Yeah, it went up, but roughly over $10 million, right?
I don't think this requires action. This is just a presentation.
Right.
Okay, well, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Our planning department, 17.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. TJ Arredondo for the record.
Morning, sir.
First item is 17A. All these are preliminary approval. I'm going to read them all out. Preliminary approval for Tames and Garcia subdivision, precinct 1. It's 2 lots. San Joaquin Phase 2 subdivision, precinct 1. That's 208 lots, residential. Item 17AC is Bordertown Acres Phase 1, precinct 4. That's 71 lots. 17A D, Aurora Valley Phase 4, that it's 113 lots, precinct 1. And all these are recommended for preliminary approval by the County
Move for
Advisory Board.
approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
17A2 is Terry Palms Number 2 subdivision, Precinct 4, at 16 residential lots, 1 commercial lot. Item 2B, the Estates of Santa Cruz Ranches Number 3, that's 4 lots, residential. Via Salazar subdivision, Precinct 4, that is 3 lots, commercial. Item D is RG Estates Phase 1, Precinct 4, that's 37 lots. Item E is no action. For the record, La Victoria Phase 2, that would be no action, item E. Item F, San Pablo subdivision Phase 4, 56 lots, Precinct 4. Moreno Phase 3 subdivision, Precinct 4, that's 18 lots. And we're recommending final approval for all except for item E, La Victoria Phase 2, no action.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And TJ, for the record, the subdivision advisory board approved all these.
Correct, sir. Item 3A is final approval with financial guarantee for Ruiz subdivision, Precinct 4, 10 lots. It's in Precinct 1. I'm sorry. This is Precinct 1. I'm sorry for the error. Precinct 1. County has recommended, advisory board has recommended approval for a final with financial guarantee.
Instead of precinct 4, it's precinct 1?
It's Precinct 1 for the record.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The next item is an appointment or reappointment of members to the County Advisory Board. These are the individuals that review these subdivisions and make the recommendation to the court. They're appointed by the court. The individuals that have been recommended to be reappointed are Precinct 2, Manuel Cantu, Precinct 3, Omar Ramon, and Precinct 4, Leonel Garza III. Recommended by each precinct.
Yes.
By the Commissioner. Move for approval.
And
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
the next item is the Building Board of Adjustments. They review setback encroachments for the county. They meet at the same time, and so what we've done in the past is the same members typically are the ones that go on that board. So the same recommendations for Precinct 2, Manuel Cantu, Precinct 3, Omar Ramon, and Precinct 4, Leonel Garza III.
Move. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 18, Precinct 2.
Morning, Judge Commissioners. Raul Siguero,
Morning,
Precinct
sir.
2. Judge Commissioners, item 18A, this is approval of an interlocal cooperation agreement between the City of FAR and the County of Hidalgo for a portion of Owasso Road that's being reconstructed. 48% of the project is within the city limits of FAR, that's why we need the agreement. And item 2 is approval of the project in accordance with Texas Government Code 791.014. So I need approval on 1 and 2.
Move for approval, 1 and 2.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, sir.
Item 19, Precinct 3.
He goes.
Bingo.
Good morning, Mingo.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Item 19, discussion and approval of interlocal cooperation agreement between the City of Palmhurst and the County of Hidalgo. And 2, the approval of the interlocal agreement project in attendance with Texas Government Code 791.014 for the overlay of certain streets located in James Allen subdivision. Those streets are named J Drive, South and North.
Second.
Judge, it is not clear in the agreement that this is a fixed amount. However, we got a letter from the city indicating so the city is going to contribute an amount, and it's going to be a fixed amount, whether the costs are higher or lower.
Correct. It'd be
That's correct.
Some lump project.
Whatever money's left will be deposited into road and bridge.
Correct. It's basically, yes. The only thing we would recommend is get approved, the letter from the city of Palmhurst, the one that was sent over does not have a signature, so we can just have it approved pending receipt of the signed letter. We would recommend approval for that.
Got it, Mingo?
Thank you, Judge.
We need a vote.
You're going to vote?
Yes, sir, thank you.
We
For the
need-
vote?
For the first.
Did you vote?
Second. Second. Tito, make the first.
And we had a motion and a second, but I don't think we voted.
We haven't voted yet, Judge.
Okay. Then let me get a motion on those one and two then.
Yeah,
Made a motion
I
and
second.
Cuellar seconded.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. All right, now we're ready.
Good morning, Commissioner, Judge. Item 20A is the authorization and approval of name change as recommended by the LRG VDC 911, proposed name Man Service Road.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 20B1 is the approval of certification of revenues by the county auditor for the McAllen Consolidated Independent School District parking lot paving project.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And 20B2 is the approval of 2014 appropriation of funds in the amount of $193,091.97 for the McAllen Consolidated Independent School District parking lot paving project.
It's completed, right? It's completed.
The project, he's asking if the project being completed yet.
There was one more school that's not reflected on this one that we just did about a week ago, so that'll be the last one. That'll be coming to court in the future.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. 21,
Morning, Judge Commissioners. City of Cruz Department of Budget and Management. Item 21A is consideration and approval of imposition of optional fees for calendar year 2015 in accordance with Transportation Code 502.401, 502.402, and Section 502.403. This is for the $10 road and bridge fee that's assessed on the vehicle registration and the $10 RMA fee. We're requesting that we keep the same fees that we had last fiscal year.
Approval.
Second.
those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion
That
carries.
includes the $10 for the RMA and.
Correct. Item 21B1 is approval of 2014 appropriation of funds into the County Records Management and Preservation Fund in the amount of $63,840.23. And this is for record storage fees.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 21B2, A and B, is approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor and appropriation of those funds in the amount of $908,285 and the cash match requirement of $100,920. This is for the transportation grant that we got regarding the CERTS funding.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And item 21B3 is approval of 2014 appropriation of funds into Fund 1342, COs 2010 A and B in the amount of $500. This is for the paying agent fees.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners.
Thank you, Sarah. Item 22,
Yes.
purchasing.
Martha Salazar for Purchasing Department. Let's go to item 22A1. This is a requesting authority to publish a project-specific advertisement for a request for qualifications to establish a pool of architects with extensive experience in the design, construction, and related services of judicial and courthouse facilities, including the approval of the procurement packet. This is in connection with an assessment and review and consulting services that are being requested for the examination and the review of the existing schematic designs as submitted to the county.
I believe there was a recommendation that we add the word consultants to this one.
It will have consulting services listed in, it is a consulting service. It names all of the services that can possibly be engaged from a pool of such architects. And as I just mentioned, it would be in the area of the review and analysis
All
and
right.
confirmation of your schematic designs.
Okay.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
One item that I do want to report to the court, in this RFQ, we are going to be specifying that whoever submits must at a minimum be able, as a firm on its own, to provide at least 80% at a minimum of the services with the firm itself. Item 2, this is requesting approval of a change order number 3 in the connection with the approved construction directive number 6 in connection with the repairs and renovations to the first and second floor in the amount of $11,763 from contracted vendor D. Wilson, and as recommended by the architect and the construction manager.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 3 is acceptance and approval of the contract with the lowest responsible vendor, meeting all specifications and, with the lowest responsible vendor meeting all specifications and requirements through the request for sealed quotes for the provision of publications and non-statutory legal ads and notices with Greg Byron Wendorf, that is Advanced Publishing Company, on an as-needed basis. This is non-statutory publications.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
4 is acceptance and approval of the contract with AIM Media Texas Operating LLC, DBA The Monitor, for the provision of publications of statutory legal ads and/or notices through the requisition and purchase order protocol, as it was declared a sole source.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 5 is presentation of the bids received as detailed in the tabulation sheet contained herein to award to the responsible bidder submitting the most and best bid for Hidalgo County. That's American Surveillance Company. We sent out, there was 4 participants, 2 bids were received, and we do recommend, along with the concurring user departments, American Surveillance Company Incorporated. That includes the approval of the contract.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 6, this is requesting consideration and approval to permit the partial release of retainage due contractor CAS for modular project at the county courthouse by cutting payments or checks payable to both CAS and the following subcontractors in amounts detailed with retainage, while retaining an amount calculated by the project architect, Mr. Magera from Dannenbaum Engineering, to cover the amount for the one item pending in need of completion to the satisfaction of the county. The 5 subs that you see here we have no issue with any punch list items. And in order to, in the best interest of the county, I recommend that we proceed in
Valdez,
this
this is
fashion.
going to affect that gate that's not working over there?
This is,
Exactly, that
Hopefully
is the
you'll take care of
focus.
right, this is so.
Yes, sir, that is one of the most urgent reasons we're doing this.
Right, and I do want to stress one thing, okay? That because of the unusual circumstances that we find ourselves in, this is a solution to that end of that dilemma we have. But I want to stress that this is not a protocol that we will engage in the future. This is just so that we can resolve the dilemma at hand. And
Right.
in meeting with the auditor's office, I think this is the most appropriate way to go about this. But again, I want to stress that this is not a protocol that we want to or will engage in the future.
Correct, and then the additional reasoning is also that these vendors do not have anything pending with the county as far as, and we are retaining enough to have the last item that is still being resolved enough to cover that. So
Yeah,
we're
but I
not,
think I like what Valdes said. This is an exemption, right?
This is a very
Exception.
unique situation, and this is the way to address that situation. But again, I want to stress, this is a protocol that I'm recommending that not to engage in the future. Again, this will address the situation at hand.
Judge,
Yes.
the vendor's approval was not attached to the agenda item. However, we got a letter later on from the vendor. The amounts included in the letter are different than the amounts listed.
very slightly
on
different,
the,
yes.
On the agenda item.
2 things. It was attached, but it was attached after 5 o'clock, after everything had been posted. But I did ask that it be attached, so it is an attachment today. I did send it to your staff. Yes, there are 2 slight differences from what we show in our records as due and what they show. They're not much, but of course, we can't pay any more,
Okay.
and we'll have to reconcile that.
All right, so
First
for the
with them.
record, what are we going to pay? Because the vendor is saying pay lower amounts than the
We will
ones listed
pay,
here.
we will pay an amount that can be reconciled between our records and the vendor. The vendor is telling us what they have paid out. As long as they confirm it, then we'll pay out what he says. It won't be any more than what we have listed. He shows slight more payments to two vendors than what we do, but we didn't have those records.
I think it's lower amount. He's
It's a
saying-
lower
yeah,
amount,
he said
yes.
pay a lower amount than
Correct,
what
which
we have.
means his retainage with us will be higher.
Marty, but we're not going to release his retainers yet, right? This is only for these vendors,
We're not going to release what?
the retainer.
No, sir. Not until the issue that is pending on the punch list, which is
That's what I
being
wanna-
worked on.
okay.
Correct.
That's what I want to make for the record, that we're going to release retainers.
In fact, we're going to retain more than what even the architect has estimated it would cost
Only
the county
the
to do it on
amount
its
that
own.
either he's asking us to reimburse or the ones that are listed here.
Correct.
Move for approval.
That's item 6.
Item 6, yes, sir.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 7 is presentation by Purchasing Department for acceptance, adoption, and approval of Hidalgo County's Fixed Asset Policy and Procedures Manual for use by all applicable elected offices, departments, programs, and agencies. Once this is approved, we will post it on our website, plus you will be provided a hard copy. There is some recommendations by the auditor's office. I'm asking that we approve this as presented today. We have just received the recommendations, so we are going to go through them. And of course, anything that we feel is in our best interest to include, we will later bring and include as an amendment to that policy.
Can we, Judge, can you approve it with the inclusion of those recommendations?
I'm not recommending that we include them,
I'm asking the judge. Judge, can you do that, Judge, or no?
but it's my policy.
I think it's a county policy.
It
So
is.
My question is, would you be agreeable to that, Judge?
Judge, I can show
It's
you,
not
may I
before-
respond? I can show you that we sent this policy, and I have the dates, and I responded in my concern letter to the auditor's office starting in 2011. We're in 2014. We received their recommendations the evening before this is going to happen. There are some good recommendations in there, but we need to also adopt this policy so that it can start to be used and the user departments can become more responsible for their inventories. I am not against some of the recommendations, but I think we need to have the opportunity to review them and adopt them as we see fit and what is in the best interest of the county. I'm not going to just accept them all.
And Judge, from a legal standpoint, any of those additions, the only agreement before you right now is the agreement presented by Purchasing Department. Any additions to that would have to be an amendment to that agreement. And there is no amendment before you at this time.
All right. Are there any questions from any member of the court? If not, I would entertain a motion.
For approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
And as soon as possible that we read and review the recommendations by the auditor's office, we will bring back to court. Thank you. And item 8, presentation with concurrence by Hidalgo County Purchasing Agent, Budget Officer, and County Auditor for approval of orders attached herein for all general and all other applicable funding budgets for the following, including but not limited to elected officials, department heads, program and agency directors. A, cutoff date for the submission of requisitions by Friday, October the 3rd for goods and services that require sufficient time to order and receive prior to December 31st, 2014. And we're talking major purchases, vehicles, furniture, systems, and/or equipment. We ask for your approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
A, B, and C, Marty?
Yes, B would be the cutoff date for requisitions on Friday, November the 7th for day-to-day purchases, and that's to keep your operations going. And that's also for all applicable budgets.
You need action on C?
well, B and C. And C would be for us to, approval to notify all elected offices and departments that open purchase orders 12/31/14 for which there is no proper invoice or physical receipt of goods and services will be charged to the 2015 budgets.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, Precinct 1, acceptance and approval of work authorization 3 in connection with contract number 243 with Millennium Engineers in the amount of $23,461.50 through submitted requisition 262245 pursuant to agenda item 46089 for line item transfer, the provision of construction materials testing services for the Sioux Road paving and drainage improvements, Tower Road to Valverde.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C, Precinct 4, requesting approval of a professional engineering services agreement with LNG Engineering Laboratory LLC, DBA LNG Engineers Incorporated for the purposes of on-call geotechnical and construction materials testing for projects located within Precinct 4.
Move for approval.
I need a second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2, acceptance of the sole bid received from Guerra Brothers Master Partnership for RFB number 029, sale or exchange of real property, Precinct 4, with a value of $20,000.
Approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B is acceptance and approval of order confirming sale or exchange document with Guerra Brothers Master Partnership for the sale or exchange of real property, Precinct 4.
Move for second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
For the record, the exchange of our property is worth $500. We are getting a piece of property valued at a higher price. Item 3, requesting acceptance and approval of application for wastewater service and water meter installation agreements with North Alamo Water Supply Corporation for Hidalgo County Precinct 4, Sunflower Park, with authority for the county judge to execute the service agreements and applications.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item D1, pursuant to Texas Local Government Code 263-152-2, the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office is requesting to surplus for trade and communication equipment listed in Exhibit A for discount on new communication equipment as stated on the contract number 270, approved by Commissioners Court on October 23rd of 2012.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item B is requesting approval and authorization to remove items listed on Exhibit A from Hidalgo County inventory list.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2A is ratification of request by Dr. Marin Garza with notice of severed request on July the 25th, 2014, to designate Dr. John Lung, M.D., to cover sick call duties responsibilities as required under current agreement for the provision of services from July 30th through August the 12th during his absence.
Second. Those in favor,
This already
say
occurred.
aye. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B is action to formally terminate the current agreement with the late Dr. Gumaro Garza, M.D., passing away on July the 28th, 2014.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C, amendment to current agreement with Dr. Marin Garza, M.D., to reflect changes, including but not limited to the following requirements, terms, conditions, and retainer. One is the amendment for a short-term period to the present agreement not to exceed 90 days commencing August the 26th and ending November 23rd of 2014. 2 is amendment to include the minimum requirement of 4 days per week for sick call duties. And 3, amendment to add the requirement that prior to and in the event of absence, submission of request to Hidalgo County Commissioners Court for action to permit the subcontract of a physician to cover sick call duties. And 4, amendment to reflect the increase of the monthly retainer to $7,200, not to exceed the 90-day term of the amendment.
Approve 1, 2, 3, 4.
Second. Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item D is authority to publish a request for qualifications as required under Government Code 2254 for the engagement of another physician to provide medical services to Hidalgo County inmates with approval of a procurement packet as attached here too, and as reviewed by the Assistant District Attorney Section of the County Affairs.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, that is all I have.
Thank you. This time pursuant to 551 and 071 and 072, I need a motion to proceed to executive session.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. It is 11:32, will be an executive session. Session, item 24. Kara?
Judge. Commissioners, item 24, open session, no action. Item 24A, real estate acquisition appropriation for same. Item 24B, pending potential litigation, there is no action. Item 24C, CL 13-0827-F, Jose Alanis and Rosalinda Alanis versus Hidalgo County. Judge, Commissioners, I'd like for the court to entertain a motion to tender our SIR.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Mr. Ofracio, an accounting has been done. If I have a dollar amount, and so I'll provide it if we're off. If we're off a couple of cents, then we'll tweak that number, but I'll submit to your office the amount that we're tendering to the insurance carrier.
Okay.
Item 24D, C 6615-14-H, Jose Luis Perez versus Hidalgo County Constable Precinct 4, J.E. Eddie Guerra and Juan J. Ramos, DBA El Valle Warehouse. Judge, Commissioners, I'd like to refer back to items 7A1 and 2. 7A1, requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under the Texas Local Government Code, Section 262024A4, a professional service for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation. I could have a motion to that effect?
Approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 7A2, I'm requesting engagement with the firm of Atlas Holland Rodriguez for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation and authority to submit a letter of engagement, specifically C 6615-14H, Jose Luis Perez versus Hidalgo County Constable Precinct 4, J.A. Eddie Guerra and Juan J. Ramos, DBA El Valle Warehouse.
24D,
I'm sorry?
that is for 24D.
24D, yes.
Approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And for the record, the representation will be only to Hidalgo County. Only to Hidalgo County. Item 24E, potential claim of Michael R. Calvillo and Rosa Rivera et al. Proceed as directed. Item 24F, claim of Karina Bocanegra. Judge, Commissioners, I'd like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $7,750. If approved and accepted, Mr. Ufraso, the checks would be made payable to Karina Bocanegra and Dilly Law Firm.
Approval.
Second.
Dilley, Dilly Law Firm.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item 24G, claim of Rosa Rivera. Judge, Commissioners, I'd like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $7,019.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
24H, claim of Idalia Ortiz. I'd like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $100.
Approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
24I, claim of Allstate Insurance Company. Judge Commissioners, I'd like for the court to entertain a motion to settle this claim with Allstate Insurance Company in the amount of $10,058.96.
Approval, that's on the subrogation, right?
Yes, sir.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And 24J, Hidalgo County versus Rebecca M. Rodriguez. Judge Commissioners, I'd like to assign this over to Ms. Josephine Ramirez's office to file suit. I can have a motion to that effect?
Approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And 24K, Hidalgo County versus Isabel Victoria Azamar and David Jonathan Lara. Judge Commissioners, I'd like to assign this and for the court to take action to be assigned to Ms. Josephine Ramirez's office for subrogation.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge,
Need a-
I'm sorry, to that for subrogation purposes and if need me, filing suit.
All right, sir. Anything else?
No, Judge
Need a
Commissioners.
motion to adjourn?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. And at this time, we're going to be convening our budget workshop.